Coming up, the mother of a teenager criticises treatment given to her daughter before she died.
Why Shakespeare's old school has finally decided to let the girls in just 460 years later.
And happy 10th birthday. How the Bullring has changed the way we shop. That's at 6. Coming up, a mother's anger at a hospital's treatment given to her daughter before she died. The details in a moment. You're watching ITV News Central, and these are tonight's main stories. Parents' horror as they learn about chaotic hospital blunders at the inquest into their daughter's death.
Shock. Horrified. A bit foolish because I'd been telling people what a fantastic hospital they were and how much they did for Jessica.
As Birmingham's Bullring celebrates its 10th birthday, we look at how it's influenced our shopping habits.
Is this a girl I see before me? Shakespeare's old school accepts the fairer sex for the first time in 460 years.
And Rebecca Adlington joins Richard Whitehead on his mission to run 40 marathons in 40 days.
Good evening. The mother of a teenager has criticised the treatment received by her daughter who died after being admitted to hospital. An inquest into the death of Jessica Ashton Pyatt heard there'd been a catalogue of blunders, including nurses attempting to use a vital piece of equipment upside down.
Jessica's mother had been fundraising for the hospital as a thank you and only discovered the mistakes when she attended her inquest. Wesley Smith reports.
This is the final photo of Jessica Ashton Pyatt, who died aged 14. Her home in Newcastle-under-Lyme is now a shrine as her parents and 3 younger brothers grieve.
Most of the time I feel like I'm falling apart. Just doesn't seem the same. Life's just not the same anymore.
Jessica had been on holiday at Butlins in Skegness when she was taken gravely ill. She was taken to the Pilgrim Hospital in Boston, where the inquest heard she faced a catalogue of blunders after she succumbed to a stomach rupture and 2 heart attacks.
I think she'd have got better treatment if she'd gone to a vet's, personally. It sounded that horrifying. Apparently they were all just standing around looking overwhelmed and terrified, and it was all in chaos.
Jessica really loved school and was very much looking forward to moving into the new Thistley Hough Academy here. Sadly, she died before it opened. But she's not forgotten by her friends and staff here.
I can't put into words the hole that she's left in our school. To say that it didn't touch the hearts of everyone would be an understatement. The pupils remember Jessica in a very, very fond way, and so they've really wanted to mark her passing in a range of different ways. They've done a great deal of fundraising, and they've also set up a memorial garden which will be open in November once the school's landscaping is finished.
The South Lincolnshire coroner, Professor Robert Forrest, recorded a verdict of death by natural causes. He said the treatment she received didn't save her life, but didn't contribute to her death. But it's the way she was treated while in the hospital that's upset her mother so deeply. But in many ways she is with you here at home.
Yeah, we've got a casket for ashes on the cabinet. I carry her ashes with me in this. We just want to keep her as close as possible. So that's why we surround ourselves with all of her belongings. They're upstairs in the bedroom, they're down here in the living room. We're just trying to have her as close as possible all the time.
United Lincolnshire Hospitals Trust, which runs Pilgrim Hospital, issued a statement apologising for failings in Jessica's care. They said, "We express our sincere condolences to the family of Jessica Ashton Pyatt and apologise for any distress caused during her treatment. We recognise there were aspects of care which did not meet the high standards we normally deliver. We take these matters extremely seriously and have carried out an internal investigation to enable us to take steps to improve the care provided." Jessica's parents are now taking advice on legal action. Wesley Smith, ITV News, Newcastle-under-Lyme.
An investigation is underway after a plane owned by a businessman from the Midlands crashed off the Channel Islands, killing the 2 people on board. The private plane, which set off from Dinan in France earlier today, had to be ditched into the sea at St Juan's Bay in Jersey. It is not known if Carl Whiteley from Derby was on board. And for the very latest on this, you can head to our website. That's itv.com/central.
Police are making a fresh appeal after a teenager went missing from the Black Country 10 years ago today. Natalie Putt was 17 when she left home in Lower Gornal, saying she was just popping out, leaving her 11-week-old son with relatives. In 2004, an 18-year-old man was arrested in connection with her disappearance but was released without charge.
Police are looking for a convicted kidnapper from Birmingham who's failed to return to prison. Adam Smith, who's 34, is serving a 12-year sentence at HMP Sudbury in Derbyshire. Police are advising people not to approach him. Now, victims of domestic violence are being encouraged to seek help as part of a new campaign aimed at raising awareness about the support available in Leicester.
The SAFE project in the city helps men and women who've been abused. It says the number of people calling its helpline has doubled in the past year. Rajiv Popat reports.
Many victims of domestic violence often suffer for years without telling anyone. That's exactly what happened to Alison, a mother of 2 young children. We've changed her name to protect her identity. She told me her nightmare started soon after she got married.
I couldn't talk to anybody of the opposite sex. I had to give up work and I had no freedom. There was also physical abuse. One day my husband was shouting at me. I just stood up and just screamed and just said, I've had enough. It's then when he grabbed me by my neck, he kept banging my head against the wall and kept punching me in my stomach.
Hello, Safe Project, Jazz speaking. Can I help you?
Alison's ordeal came to an end when she was put in touch with the SAFE project, which supports men and women in Leicester who are experiencing or are at risk from domestic violence. The project says more and more people are contacting them.
On average, we're now taking every 3 months over 300 new clients. The helpline a month receives over 600 calls a month. Last year it was between 300, 400, so we've actually seen the calls double within a year.
A new campaign in the city aims to raise awareness about the support services available. According to Leicestershire Police, there were 11,000 incidents of domestic abuse in the city last year.
Services we offer is round where people can seek help and advice and take steps to change the abusive relationship they're in or move away from that abusive relationship.
Labour today accused the government of failing victims because it says fewer cases of domestic violence are being referred to the Crown Prosecution Service.
We've got this big drop in prosecutions, even though the number of domestic violence cases that the police deal with is going up. That's really bad for victims.
The Home Office responded by saying, we have ring-fenced nearly £40 million for specialist local domestic and sexual violence support services. Domestic violence, rape and sexual offence prosecutions have reached their highest ever conviction rate for the second year running. So the systems in place to protect women are working, despite the necessary cuts to police budgets. Alison says her life has changed for the better.
Once you find yourself, because you've forgotten who you are, it's so good. You feel like a little kid again and you keep giggling. Sometimes you have flashbacks, oh, I can't do that. Then you think, of course I can. I can open my windows. It's not a problem.
Alison now hopes to use her experience to help others to ensure they don't suffer in silence. Rajiv Popat, ITV News, Leicester.
One Direction star Liam Payne has escaped unharmed after a fire at his home in London. The singer, who's from Wolverhampton, was at his luxury flat in Canary Wharf when firefighters were called. 3 people were treated for burns after the blaze. Liam's spokesman has confirmed he was unharmed.
No doubt millions of fans delighted that he's OK. Now, still to come here on ITV News Central. Playing by different rules as Shakespeare's Old School admits girls for the first time.
Plus the award-winning magician who's playing his cards right.
And I hope you're making the most of the sunshine today because it's all change over the next 24 hours. The details coming up.
Now, it may not feel like it, but it's 10 years to the day since the iconic Bullring shopping centre opened in Birmingham.
Yes, it is now one of the most visited retail destinations in the UK and has attracted nearly 400 million visitors since its opening. Sally Lockwood has been taking a look at the impact it's had on the Midlands.
It's one of the most photographed landmarks in the UK, a tourist attraction as well as one of the country's busiest shopping centres. And 10 years on from the day it first opened its doors, it's full of shoppers from across the Midlands, the country and abroad.
Obviously, with the mix of tenants that we've got here now, there is no reason to go to London. I mean, we have everything here that London offers. And we know from our research that we spread right out into the Worcestershire area. If you're going south, we go across into the East Midlands. And we have become the dominant location or destination for retailing.
Last year, tourism in Birmingham hit a record high with 34 million visitors. The Bullring's now one of the city's biggest attractions. It's come a long way from where it started as a market in the Middle Ages. The shopping centre in its first form was built in the 1960s.
So we have one complete self-contained shopping area. Absolutely.
But it was in 2003 that the Bullring transformed shopping in the city centre with a £500 million regeneration.
57 new retailers arrived here when the Bullring opened 10 years ago. And while it's said to have been of benefit to other shops in other areas of the city, some businesses say that hasn't been the case.
It's a matter really of those independent traders largely, advertising and marketing their appeal. They can do the same and take advantage of the extra number of people who are coming here, and not just for the shopping, of course.
But local retailer Paul Lamb doesn't agree. He's had a shoe shop in the city centre for 20 years and says the Bullring's had a big impact on business.
The trading levels have probably halved. Bullring Centre's never really been integrated into the shopping centre of Birmingham, if you like. It stands on its own and it does a great job as a shopping centre, but it's decimated the traditional shopping centre.
What would be your reaction to the Chamber of Commerce saying that you should do more to market yourselves?
It's just laughable. I mean, we are in Birmingham city centre, which is supposedly the second city.
The Bullring may not be popular with everyone, but it still attracts nearly 4 million people a month and made the city one of the top shopping destinations in the country. Sally Lockwood, ITV News, Birmingham.
And I know what you're thinking, and you're right. Yes, me and Pip, our director, and most of our female production staff do our best to keep it going. We love our shopping.
That's true.
I'll move on, shall I? A firm in Coventry which makes vinyl floors for American aircraft carriers has brought production back from China and created 20 more jobs in the process.
The boss says they've copied how the Chinese used to make flooring for them and made it cost effective so they can manufacture back here in the Midlands. Our business correspondent Mark Goff reports.
It's amazing what you can make from cut-out pieces of vinyl flooring. But in a nod to their British heritage and to their new American owners, this is what this Coventry firm has done to spruce up the factory. This is for fun, but this is serious. £6 million on a new piece of kit to make vinyl flooring, which the firm used to have made in China because it was cheaper. They've brought production back to the Midlands.
Over the years we've learnt from what the Chinese do and actually ended up copying some of their best practices, making ourselves cost efficient and basically making Coventry price equal China price. When you get to that point, then you can start moving your production back home. That's great for British jobs, and it's also good for the long-term competitiveness of this country. We're a manufacturing nation in part. We're the 6th biggest manufacturing country in the world, if you look at the UK, and so we like to play our part in that.
And that's created 20 new jobs. The firm was bought last year by a New Jersey company. Entrepreneur Keith Campbell liked the company so much, he bought it.
We were looking to buy a luxury vinyl tile manufacturer that had manufacturing capabilities not only worldwide but also in the United States. One of the key things is that we have known Amtico for a number of years. And as we looked at the company, we also knew the people, and we knew the culture, and we knew the fact that both companies would really thrive together.
The flooring made by the 300 people here in Coventry can be used in homes, but mostly it's in businesses. And some unusual places.
U.S. battleships and aircraft carriers. It is located in skyscrapers and in shopping malls. So anywhere that people walk.
It's just great to keep the business growing. We've grown right the way through the recession to the point where actually we have needed to expand our manufacturing capacity. And doing this is the next stage of taking Amtico forwards.
Forwards using that transatlantic special relationship. Mark Goff, ITV News, Coventry.
Now, for many children, it was the first day back at school today, but one school has been making history.
The school attended by William Shakespeare has finally allowed girls in after nearly 500 years of being all boys. But will the introduction of young women have the bard turning in his grave? Well, Victoria Davis has been finding out.
For these A-level students, it's not only the start of a new school year, but the start of a new era. For the first time in its 460-year history, King Edward VI School in Stratford-upon-Avon is allowing girls into the classroom.
I think it'll be a good couple of years to kind of open myself up to new experiences, and I think that most of the girls feel that way.
It's quite exciting as well, making history. It's quite nice to be one of the first.
But while the girls are keen to start learning at their new school, the boys are a little apprehensive.
Is it quite scary having girls in?
Yes.
Why?
Been in a single-sex school for 5 years, so I guess, yeah, aliens. Yeah.
You're looking at girls as aliens?
No, not at all. No, but they're. It's going to be different.
But this school's already unique, as it's famous for educating William Shakespeare.
Well, this is the classroom where Shakespeare was taught, and back then things were very different. It was all parchment and quills and lessons in Latin, and definitely no girls.
So what would the bard make of these latest developments?
I'm sure he would have fallen in love with the first one he saw and written a sonnet for her. He would have been delighted, but very bemused. It would be something completely different from what he'd been used to in an age when only boys were educated. To allow girls into the school would have taken his breath away, I would imagine.
I think it's the right time. I'm often asked what Shakespeare would have thought of all this, and Ben Jonson described him as a man for all time. And I think he would have moved with the times, and he would have approved of this. His own school, moving with the times, and life is co-ed, isn't it?
These young women say they're determined to show that anything boys can do, girls can do better. And who knows, maybe this school will educate another famous playwright, and this time it could be female. Victoria Davis, ITV News, Stratford-upon-Avon.
And what would the bard have made of it? I mean, it could have ruined his concentration.
Yes, it probably will.
Still to come here on ITV News Central, the teenage magician winning awards and teaching us a trick or two. But first, we've got some sports news. Wolves are through to the second round of the John Stones Payne Trophy after last night's game against Black Country rivals Walsall.
Yes, Liam McCallendon gave Wolves an early lead, but it was Walsall who equalised at the start of the second half thanks to Ashley Hemmings. A penalty by Bakari Sako took Wolves in front again, but a stunning volley from Troy Hewitt took the game to penalties, and it ended 4-2 to Wolves. After 3 weeks on the road, Paralympic champion Richard Whitehead has finally reached the Midlands as he attempts to run the length of Britain. The athlete from Nottinghamshire is running 40 marathons in 40 days for charity.
The latest stage of his gruelling challenge brought him into the Peak District, and Peter Byrne joined him en route.
So Richard Whitehead is back in the Midlands. He's within striking distance of his home county of Nottinghamshire. And he's just about over halfway on his 977-mile route. Richard, welcome back to the region. How's it been going?
Everybody asks me that. Obviously, every day I'm getting closer and closer to Nottingham. To see my daughter, my family and friends, and obviously getting to Nottingham Market Square and see all the support that hopefully turns out on Friday.
Stage 22 of Richard's run began in a pub car park near Buxton in Derbyshire. There to accompany him for the first few miles, another sporting hero from his neck of the woods. Becky Adlington will also join Richard on Sunday when he takes part in a family fun run in Nottingham. I guess you're a bit out of your comfort zone here as you're on dry land as opposed to water.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a runner at all. Swimmers shouldn't run. We get told many a times our legs aren't made for running, but I'm just here to support Rich. It's not about having a race or going for a time. It's just about having a laugh with him, cheering him on.
Also keeping Richard company today, Tony Audenshaw, better known as Bob Hope from Emmerdale, himself a keen marathon runner.
Richard is struggling with blisters and that sort of thing. To get up, nobody wants to run on blisters, nobody, and he's doing it 40 times. It's an amazing event.
And the rest of your colleagues on the set at Emmerdale, are they all behind him?
Yeah, everybody at Emmerdale's behind him. They'll all be sat there eating crisps, drinking tea, but they'll all be thinking of him right now.
And when I spoke to you before the run, you did say this would be the biggest challenge of your life. Has it turned out that way?
It's been a bit of a challenge, yeah. Every day trying to get out of bed and get my running legs back on, and now I've got to do another 26.2 miles. It's been epic. I've enjoyed the highs, not so much the lows. You just need to keep going. Every day is a different challenge, so just believe to achieve, really. How's it going, mate? You all right? Keep going. Cheers, mate.
His goal is to raise £1 million for his charities Scope and Sarcoma UK. This was a tough leg across the Derbyshire Dales, but he's closing in on Nottingham and what will surely be a very special homecoming. Peter Bean, ITV News, Buxton.
Peter's had to have a lie down after that, hasn't
I'm sure he has. Oh, good luck to Richard, though. Running on blisters, you know. Good luck.
Yeah, well, if you want to continue following Richard on his mammoth journey, head to our website where you can keep up to date with his mission. Now, forget teenage kicks, it's all about teenage tricks as we meet the magician from the East Midlands who's a bit of an up-and-coming star.
Yes, Daniel Dorr is 15 and from Hucknall in Nottinghamshire. He won the prestigious Showmanship Award at the Edinburgh International Magic Festival last month, and he's now been invited to perform at the International Brotherhood of Magicians Convention in Buxton this weekend. He came in a little earlier on and we began by asking him how it all started.
It all started really in about year 7 when I realised that I wasn't much for the sport or the other things that the boys were particularly doing, and I was online one day and I saw a guy doing card tricks and I thought this seems like the kind of thing that I'd be interested in, and I started digging and researching and it all ended up like where I am today.
What do you sort of major in?
Well, I do a lot of card tricks and very close-up things, but one thing that I really do enjoy is being on stage and doing a lot of more mentalism, mind tricks, the mind reading and really picking out your deepest, darkest secrets without you telling me them, which is...
Yeah, which we're going to put to the test, I think, in just a while, aren't we? But yeah, we did actually put you to the test a little earlier on, because you were in our newsroom and you were actually playing some tricks on some of my colleagues here today. I think we're going to see some pictures now. Can you explain to us what you were actually doing?
Well, I was doing a few card tricks, which is what magicians are commonly known for, doing the card tricks and the little close-up sleight of hand things.
Yes.
And I was also making rabbits appear from unusual places. So.
And I have to ask you this, Dan, were we gullible? Was the team at Central gullible? Did you fool us?
I'm pretty confident that I did, but I don't think you're gullible.
You are now going to play a trick on me, aren't you?
Well, I'll try.
Go on then, let's have a go.
I've got 2 magazines here. I just picked these up from the newsroom just before I came. I don't commonly read these things, however, I did think that they'd be good for this kind of trick.
Okay.
I just want you to pick a magazine. Don't feel influenced by me. Just pick the one that you feel is right.
Okay. Right, I'll go with Insider.
Insider, right, okay. I'd like you to look for a page with quite a few words, almost like an article page.
Right.
And once you've got to one of those pages, pick quite a challenging word, something, let's say 6 or more letters.
Okay.
Just pick one of those words, and once you've got it, lock it in your mind, close the magazine and just return it back to the table.
Okay, for the purpose of our viewers, that's exactly the page that I'm picking. Okay, and I'm going to now pick a word that is 6 letters or more. Right, I'll try and do this quickly. Okay, I've got one.
Just to clarify, they're not all. It's not the same word written over and over again in that book, is it?
No.
Brilliant.
Absolutely not. No, I'll just check. No.
Okay, if you'd like to return the book back to the table, and you've got a word
In my
your
mind, yes.
Right, okay. I don't want you to think of the meaning of this word. Think of the word as itself, as the letters, almost like we've got a blank canvas in between us here. This first letter, I think I've got it, however, just out of interest, what is this first letter that you're imagining here?
Do you want me to tell you the first letter?
Just the first letter.
H.
H, right, okay. I just want you to think of the end of the word now, okay?
Yes.
So H is a very almost robotic letter, very straight lines. I want you to think of the end of the word now, and as you start to think of this end of the word, think of one of the letters just, right, I'm getting a sense of more of a curve this time. Is it an E or an A that you're thinking of, something?
It is a curve, but
it's
not...
It's a curve.
Yeah.
Now think of the thing that this is making you feel. I'm getting a sense of deep down here more of a chest area, like a heart, is it? Is the word heartbreakingly or something heartbreaking?
That is really good. It is.
Oh.
It is heartbreakingly. I'm really impressed. So much so, I'm thinking, how did you do that? But I know you're not going to tell me. Well done.
Well, thank you
That
very
was
much.
very, very good, yes, and you did actually get the correct answer. Well, I mean, you knew straight away, didn't you? You did, but that was all part of the showmanship,
Showmanship is a very big part of what you're doing. You've obviously got to try and put across what you're doing.
Well, you know what? I think you're going to go very far, Dan. Thank you very much for entertaining us and for completely tricking me.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with what you do.
Thank you very much.
How did he do it?
I have no idea. I'm going to Google, I'm going to check, I'm going to do everything. I'm lost.
Fantastic, yeah.
It's good.
Well, the weather's been playing some very pleasant tricks on us recently. Will it last? Lucy's spent the afternoon at the Botanical Gardens and she can certainly tell us more. Here she is.
Well, I'm here at the Botanical Gardens in Birmingham tonight. Well, they always look pretty, as you know, but particularly so on a day like today. We've seen hot and sunny weather across the region, highs of 27 degrees Celsius, 81 in Fahrenheit. Just to put that into perspective, the average temperature this time of year is 19 degrees Celsius. Saying that, it's not that unusual for it to get this hot in September. In fact, 2 years ago, at the end of September, we recorded a 29 degrees Celsius. But things are about to change. Tomorrow night, that's when we'll see the weather start to break down. At the moment, you see, we've got this high pressure dragging in really hot air from the south. But tomorrow night, a weather front will move in from the northwest. It's going to crash into that really warm air, and we're going to see some rain and much cooler temperatures. Let's get the detail on that. Here's your forecast. So before we talk about all that rain and cool temperatures, a lovely picture for you to enjoy, courtesy tonight of Barry Turner. Thank you very much for that. So then, the next few hours are looking good. It will remain warm through this evening. It's going to stay dry overnight tonight as well, but some late evening sunshine to come. It's going to be mild overnight tonight, quite muggy actually. A few mist and fog patches likely as well, mainly in the southeast corner of the region. They'll be quick to lift tomorrow morning, and we'll enjoy some good spells of sunshine through the morning, but they won't last for long because ahead of that weather front I mentioned, we've got some cloud that will roll in to northern parts of the region. Temperatures will be lower there as we head into the afternoon. The highest temperatures tomorrow will be in the south, highs of 23 degrees Celsius, so it's going to begin to feel a little bit cooler, even though it's going to stay dry through tomorrow afternoon. The showery rain, though, will move in on that weather front as it moves through tomorrow night, and that sets the scene for a very wet, a windy and a cold Friday. Temperatures are good 10 degrees lower than today's values. We're going to see some torrential downpours as well as we move through the day on Friday, the potential for some localised flooding. Saturday and Sunday looking unsettled as well and remaining quite cool as we head through the next few days. Enjoy the sunshine this evening. Bye for now.
So, a bit of a change in the weather coming up. Right, just before we go, a quick look at the headlines on ITV News Central. The mother of a teenager who died after a catalogue of blunders by medical staff has criticised the treatment received by her daughter. The hospital trust, which treated Jessica Ashton-Pyatt from Staffordshire, has apologised to her family and says it's carried out an internal investigation to improve care.
An historic day for Shakespeare's School. Girls are now allowed in after nearly 500 years of being all boys. Experts say the Bard would have welcomed the decision by the King Edward VI School in Stratford-upon-Avon.
And a very special birthday for Birmingham's Bullring as it celebrates its 10th year. It's one of the most visited retail destinations in the UK, attracting nearly 400 million visitors since it opened.
And there's more of all of today's stories on our website, itv.com/central. And if you want to see more of Daniel Dawes' magic trick on me, we do, don't we? Yes, to work out how he did it. The website is the place to find it.
Let's head to that. Right, that's it for the moment from us. So from Sam, from me, from all the team here at Central News, we wish you a very good evening and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.